Ever spend hours like just obsessing over your resume, and then crafting like the perfect cover letter only to feel like it just vanishes into thin air?
Yeah. It's like sending it into a black hole, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? So many people are going through the same thing.
It's a really common frustration. I hear it all the time. And honestly, the job market's tough enough as it is without all this added stress.
I hear you. And here's the kicker. We're not just competing with other people anymore.
Right.
Remember those stacks of resumes employers used to go through? I mean, those were the days.
Yeah.
Now it's algorithms making the decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about automated recruiters.
It's true. Companies are using software more and more to streamline their hiring, but it's a trade-off.
How so?
Well, on the one hand, it's definitely more efficient, but on the other hand, it means your application has to be fine-tuned for a computer program as well as a human reader.
So how does this whole automated recruiter thing even work?
Imagine a search engine, right? You type in a keyword and it shows you relevant websites. Automated recruiters are kind of similar. Employers plug in the skills and qualifications they're looking for, and the software scans resumes for those keywords. If your resume doesn't have the exact terms, even if you have the experience, you might be automatically rejected before a human even sees it.
Wait, so you could have tons of experience, but if you don't use the right words, you're out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem very fair.
Well, it definitely highlights just how important it is to understand the technology that's become so central to hiring these days.
That's true.
Like, let's say a job description wants someone with project management experience, but you've led tons of projects, so you put leading project teams on your resume. An automated recruiter might not connect those two, even though it's basically the same skill set.
So that's where a platform like RoleCatcher comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's like it translates your experience into the language these automated recruiters can understand.
Exactly. RoleCatcher analyzes job descriptions to find those crucial keywords and skills employers want. Then it compares those to your resume, highlighting any gaps or areas where your language might not be what the software is programmed to look for.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does RoleCatcher go beyond just spotting keywords?
It's more than just matching words. Let's say there's a marketing position needing experience with social media campaigns. RoleCatcher doesn't just scan for those words on your resume. It digs deeper, analyzing your experience to see if you've used skills related to social media campaigns like content creation, analytics tracking, or audience engagement. It makes those connections for you, ensuring your resume highlights the skills employers want, even if they haven't explicitly listed them all.
So it's like having an AI assistant who understands both human language and the technical jargon these systems need.
You could say that RoleCatcher basically acts as this bridge between your experience and what these automated systems expect.
This is already blowing my mind, and we're just getting started. Okay, so we've tackled those automated recruiters, but now there's the rest of the application. To think about tailoring your resume for every single job sounds seriously time-consuming.
Yeah, it definitely can be, especially when you're juggling multiple applications at once. That's where having a system and the right tools can be a game changer.
Let's talk tools, because it seems like RoleCatcher has a solution for this too, right?
They do. Remember those days when everyone just used a generic resume? You'd send the same one to a million companies and hope for the best.
Oh man, those were not the good old days.
Thankfully, those days are long gone. With RoleCatcher, you can make multiple versions of your resume, each one highlighting different skills and experiences that match different types of jobs. Then their AI goes to work finding the absolute best version for each application you submit.
So it's like having a custom-made resume for every single job without the headache of having to redo it every time.
Exactly. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Plus, it goes beyond just the resume itself. Think about it from the employer's perspective for a second. They're not looking at your resume by itself. They're comparing it to potentially hundreds of others.
And trying to find the best fit for what they need.
Right. RoleCatcher actually flips the script on the whole thing. Instead of hoping your resume stands out in a giant pile of applications when you opt into their system, you're letting employers find you based on the specific skills and experience they need.
So instead of me chasing after jobs, the jobs come to me. I like the sound of that. Sign me up.
It's not quite that easy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you've got the right idea. It's about being proactive and making it as easy as possible for the right employers to find you. It's about strategic visibility.
And RoleCatcher gives you the tools to do that. So I've got my resume optimized.
Yeah.
I'm findable by the right employers. What about the interview? That's always been the most nerve-wracking part for me.
Yeah, the interview.
It's like no matter how much you prepare, you always end up a nervous wreck.
Totally. It's like the big performance after weeks of rehearsals, right? But just like with those rehearsals, the key to absolutely nailing your interview is practice. And RoleCatcher, you guessed it, they've got tools to help you with that too.
Don't tell me they have an AI that can, like, predict the exact questions you'll get asked.
Well, maybe not predict the future, but pretty close. RoleCatcher has this huge database of interview questions, like over 120,000 of them, all categorized by industry role, even specific skills.
120,000 questions. I'd need a time machine to prepare for all that.
Thankfully, you won't have to memorize all 120,000. The point is, you can really zero in on the specific types of questions that are most likely to pop up in your field. So not just the generic ones, but questions tailored to the exact roles you're going for.
Okay, so it's kind of like having a cheat sheet, but for the really important stuff.
It's way more than just a cheat sheet. With RoleCatcher, you can practice answering these questions, record yourself, and here's the really cool part. Get AI-powered feedback on how you're doing.
Hold on, AI giving me feedback on my interview skills. That's a little scary, don't you think?
Think of it like having your own personal coach who analyzes everything you say, your tone, even your body language. It's all completely objective, just focused on helping you put your best foot forward.
So it's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
Exactly. Communication skills are essential in today's job market, and RoleCatcher helps you polish those skills. Make sure you come across as confident, well-spoken, and genuinely excited about the opportunity.
This is all incredible, but it makes me think RoleCatcher seems to cover everything from actually finding a job to getting ready for the interview. What about after you get the job? What then?
That's such a good question, and it highlights something really important about RoleCatcher. It's not just about getting hired, it's about setting yourself up for long-term career success. They have tons of resources like career guides, employer profiles, salary info. It's almost like having a roadmap for your entire career.
So it's less about finding a job and more about finding the right path for you.
Exactly. RoleCatcher gives you the knowledge and tools you need to make smart decisions about your career. It's all about taking control of your professional future.
I gotta say, this deep dive has been eye-opening. We've gone from feeling like our resumes are just disappearing into a black hole to having a whole arsenal of tools to navigate the job market. It's pretty amazing.
It all comes down to working smarter, not harder. And remembering, you don't have to do this alone. There are resources like RoleCatcher that are ready to help you find a fulfilling and successful career.
So if you're stuck in that endless cycle of applying for jobs, feeling lost and frustrated, just remember, you have the power to change your approach. Find the right tools, learn how to play the game, and go after the career you've always wanted. That's what it's all about. That's the real takeaway from today's deep dive.